dice are rolling, darkness falls. Inside the GM Studios halls, tabletop games where nightmares creep, in a realm where sanity is lost and weak. Welcome to the abyss, where dreams shatter. Inside the GM studio, nothing else matters. Blood and chaos, the dark arts unfold, in the realm of role-playing, where legends are told.
Hello out there in electric internet land. Welcome to the side question episode of Inside the GM Studio, where we field questions from the internet. I am your host, David.
I'm Matt.
Gonna toss that die. I got a 4 this week.
4. Okay. All right.
All right.
This one comes from OJ Drinker on our Ask Game Masters with the title.
Drink OJ, that shit'll kill you.
With the title, would it be cheating if I did this as a GM? One clue in the adventure I'm running is that a famous company's name in the game that the players never see written down fully only... Oh, holy crap. Again, learn punctuation, folks. It's good when you do this sort of thing. One clue in the adventure I'm running is that a famous company's name in the game that the players never see written down fully, only hear it spoken, and a monogram they find elsewhere is the same. So like if the company was called PepsiCo, the monogram they would find elsewhere would be PC, and they could connect the two. Now, in my...
I don't think you know what a monogram is, buddy. Mono means one.
Yeah.
But go on.
Now, in my game, the company's name starts with TH and pronounced like the beginning of the word this. My question, would it be cheating if the NPC who spoke the company's name had an accent and pronounced it more like a D, therefore making it harder to make the connection? They might see the monogram starting with T and not making the connection, thinking the company's name starts with a D. We haven't gotten to this part in the adventure, so I can go with it or not. I'm a little torn on this, or a little thorn, as he wrote, on this. I don't want to make it too difficult or unfair, but it feels like a bit too easy as is. Honest and polite feedback is appreciated. Cheating? No? I'd say no. Maybe kind of a slippery, kind of shitty move. I don't even know if I would go that far.
Not playing fair, maybe. That's what I would say comes to mind. However, if you think it's too easy as is, then you need to find other ways to make it a little more difficult, other than kind of not really... generally speaking, I think it's bad to have some information that the party needs, that they need, vanguarded behind one door. You need to go this one way. There should be multiple ways to discover anything, especially in a mystery adventure, an adventure that's got the PCs investigating, right? A bit of information. If it just lives in one place, you're not setting yourself up for success. But if it's like, this character over here heard a rumor, or overheard someone talking about it, there was some footprints at the scene, the letter sent to this other person, so it's like they should have a plethora of options to find any given information, because they're not likely to avail themselves to all of them. They're not likely to find all the clues. There always needs to be more clues than you really need to tell a story, right? Maybe you only need 3 clues to kind of get this thing. But if there are only 3 clues to find, that makes it so much harder because PCs have more trouble navigating things than you realize. You might think it's too easy, but that's because you came up with it. It's not going to be that easy for the PCs. And as a general rule, it's it would be really cheap if it was just a pronunciation thing and the PCs had no way of knowing that, right? Like he pronounces one, if the character has an accent, you have to speak with an accent all of the time when you're speaking with this character.
Yep.
Two, if the players, presumably, if they're going to speak with this character enough for him to divulge some information to the characters, then they're going to be hearing him speak fairly frequently. So try to give the players some, maybe the more perceptive players or the more insightful players, if they're not picking up on the fact that he pronounces THs like Ds, try to incorporate words into his dialogue that are THs that he pronounces that like Ds. And if no one ever notices that, then maybe kind of have one of your more perceptive characters pick up on it. They might not know the relevance to it, but then they should like put that together later. But it's totally cheap if he just pronounces this one word with the D instead of the TH sound. And so I would suspect that it's probably difficult for you to think in those terms when you're speaking as this character, to have that always be consistent where they're always pronouncing a TH like a D. If you do that and you're confident that you can do it and that your players will likely pick up on it, especially if any of the characters have like TH names, like they're Throngar the Barbarian,
Yeah.
and he just calls it, oh, Dongar, you know, like, or whatever. It's like, why is he saying my name that way, right? Like, then it draws their attention, but try to think of words that you can incorporate into that character's dialogue. Then I would think it would be less cheap, and you would be giving other clues. It's not just notice this one thing and how it connects to this other thing. The distance in time for the plot matters too. If you have this character in session 2 speaking the name with a D instead of the TH, then they find the monogram thing, whatever that is, in session 21, and you're expecting them to remember what happened in session 2? No. But if it's like session 2 and session 5, the closer it is, the more they're going to notice. Don't stretch it out too much and expect them, because that'll make it so hard that your adventure will just come to a screeching halt. Everybody, I hear this frequently, where it's like, I don't want it to be too easy, but then it's like, it kind of, just like we were talking about in the main episode, is there's one true path, right? There's only one path to victory, and if you ever want to see a group of adventurers incredibly frustrated and really bored with your fucking game, make it a mystery that has one path to victory and arcane clues that are hard to find or hard to make sense of, and they'll just sit there around the table. The game will come, the plot will come to a screeching halt while the players don't know what to do, get frustrated, get bored, and then basically just your game is just fucked. Like you're just it'll sap all the energy out of your game. So investigations are only fun when the players are revealing things and putting pieces together. If you put that behind too thick of a curtain where there's just the one curtain that they can find the information, and then you hide that curtain behind the door, and then it's like, okay, now it's like not gonna be. I don't know. That's my 2 cents for what it's worth.
I remember when you said the 3-clue rule, that brought me back a long time ago, when I first started running Call of Cthulhu. People they sent me to the Alexandrian, which is a blog by Justin Alexander, who also wrote the book So You Want to Be a Game Master. Great book. Justin Alexander, I think he's an awesome dude, and his blogs are fantastic. The blogs are called the Alexandrian. They should still be up because they were up when they were really old and I was reading them just a few years ago, so they should still be up. If anybody out there wants to, I highly suggest you go check it out. And I remember the 3-clue rule was one of the blog posts that they sent me to. That was like, if you're going to be running Call of Cthulhu, you should read this. And I did, and it was well worth it. I want to get to some of these comments on here. There's a lot of comments on this for some reason. It's a very simple question, but a lot of people have things to say. Like Crossing Corey said, it's a dick move to intentionally obscure clues that the PCs need to continue on with the story. This I agree with, very much so.
What I was saying, yes.
Yep. Significant Cats says, players generally aren't that good at puzzles like this unless you have a specific kind of players who loves them, or unless the whole game is themed around puzzles and you tell them that in advance. You don't need this obfuscation. If players see TC all over and you keep mention Thepsi Corporation, the average party won't verbally connect the dots like ever. If they do, they feel really clever, and that rules. This obfuscation just means that they won't ever figure it out. I can almost guarantee it.
But there's a broader game world problem that this creates, and it's not one that I suspect people really think about. When you make things incredibly arcane or occult, by which I mean just hard to figure out or hidden from plain view, what you do is you create the kind of game where players need to start thinking in those terms all of the time. And so unless you want that, unless you like, your players will get, especially clever players, they will just like get deep in the weeds with like certain things, like picking at certain things. Like Patrick does this sometimes. It's like I just want to go like, dude, I mean, I get that your character is kind of like a certain way or whatever, but when in the game have I ever had this be a thing that you need to be worried about? And yet you are worried about it. Like, oh, I just I make sure that like we're covering our foot tracks like in the mud, so it's like, when has this ever been an issue? But like, if you start making everything like the players have to work really hard to find the information you need, what you don't realize is that they will think that things that they need to get on with the plot are to use the previous the commenter's word, obfuscated. Then they're going to be looking and chasing ghosts. They're going to be looking at every single minute thing and thinking that it has significance because it had significance in this one particular instance. And so you either need to create a world where minute details like that matter all the time, and your players are into sussing out the mystery of it all, or you need to make the clues a little more obvious. Like, it's like clues are already supposed to be something that you have to get and piece together to get a larger part of the picture. And so there's really no need to like basically create a double mystery. Not only do they they have to get this clue, they have to discern that the clue is a clue and that it's relevant and not what they think it is to begin with. That's an extra step that doesn't have to do with the mystery. If you want the game to be mysterious, then make them have to figure out more stuff. Don't make the things that you give them like they need to be approaching them skeptically. So, because like I said, there should always be more clues than are really needed. You just need a few things. Most players can figure out the entirety of a picture. You don't need every puzzle piece to be able to tell, like, oh, it's a donkey, or whatever. like it's you. So you just go like, there's 15 clues that paint a complete picture. But if the party finds 5 of them, they'll be able to get what's going on. And if they find all 15, then all the better. But I've never had a player or a group of players ever find every single clue that I
Right.
put into an adventure,
Mm,
because you want them to not be super obvious. So they got to work a little bit to get them. They got to work a little bit to find them. That's better to have a ton of them that they have to work a little bit for than to have fewer of them that just fall in their lap. You know, like, oh,
yeah.
it's right over here. It's like an Easter egg hunt where it's just like it's right there. It's right there on the
Yeah.
ground. I see it.
Hell, man.
It's not hidden.
A few times I've had to create clues to point them in the direction of the actual clues.
Right. Yeah. You don't want that. So you just like there should be pretty much you should have a good sense of what it is, how your players want to go about finding this information out. And it sounds like you really have a very specific idea of how they're going to find this information out, and that's not usually the good way to navigate a mystery. Try
Mm,
to go like, okay, what put clues in different areas, vanguard them by different people. Um, and then yeah, it's just you're just like, oh, like, well, he just pronounces it weird. It's like, it's just
yeah.
doesn't. It's not that's not very satisfying, and, none. I guarantee you, none of the players are gonna. They're just gonna kind of grumble when they figure that out. They're not gonna be like, aha, I was clever or whatever. It's like, um, oh, what you never. He spoke it. He's the only person that speaks that word, and there's just too many. There's too many conveniences, I guess. Too many convenient things are stacking up for this situation, and generally speaking, conveniences are not good mystery.
Dan the German on here put a comment that kind of sums it all up. What at least what I would say, if it's not crucial for the players, you can keep going with it until the players actually realize. So if you wanted to do, do the D uh, instead of the TH, pronouncing D instead of TH, until they realize if it's crucial for them to find out or required to advance in the plot. And I love this, Dan the Gamer brought it up. Try to adhere to the 3 clue rule. While this could just be fun, you don't want to halt the adventure progress over a minor detail. Yes,
Yep.
that is the main part right there. Is you don't want it to come to a screaming halt if they can't figure it out.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean
Yeah.
by don't vanguard the essential information behind one door. You got to find that door and you have to go through it, or you just don't get to plot anymore. That those sort of things frustrate players because they, first of all, it makes them feel stupid. Like they're
Hmm.
like they should have been able to figure this out and they haven't. And rather than some players will take it as a challenge, and but most of them will just kind of be mad at the GM. Like, okay, why are you acting like I'm dumb? Like I'm not, I've done some due diligence here and I'm kind of looking around, poking at things that I need to poke at. And now you've just designed it in a way that's just too like obtuse, like you're just expecting me to just think like you. And it's like they get kind of, I don't know, pissy is the right word, but I don't think they appreciate it. It's not particularly fun.
Hmm. All right. Well, I think that is going to bring us to the end of this one. Short and sweet this week. Unless you got anything to add on there, David.
I do.
All right. Well, then we'll leave that one with a good night.
And good luck.